Greetings, I'm Adventure Argonaut. This is the Golden News. It's Tuesday Newsday, and I will recount some of the news from the previous week. But before I do that, let's see if the streams are actually working. Kick and Twitch are fine. How about Rumble? Are we ready to rumble? I think we are. Hello. How about Parti? Yes, Rumble is working. How about Party? Yes, that's also working. Very nice. Have to adjust one thing. Okay. Okay, that's that. Hey, Lobera. Hey, no. Whoop, what happened? I moved the chat. Yeah, no, sorry, no Dark Souls today. Now is my Tuesday Newsday. But welcome anyways. Okay, so let's get to the first story. So there was a female school shooter in the United States, and I'm not sure if it's the first one. Probably not, but hey, how progressive, right? Yeah, you're good thing you didn't get sold, Lovera. That's really good for you. You know, bad for your brother. He lost some money. But anyways, let's check the story. So, at least 5 people shot at abandoned life Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. And let's have a look at the article. So, December 16th, so that was just yesterday. So, the shooter who opened fire at the abandoned life Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin was 15-year-old female student Natalie Rubno, who went by the name Samantha. And she shot herself and died. And the shooting left 1 student and 1 teacher dead and 6 injured, including 2 people who are facing life-threatening conditions. So 2 people dead, and herself, I guess. You know, assuming that she is the shooter. What's with the image with the girl is AI art. Like I make these title cards for each story. You know, it's AI made. This image. So anyway, so yeah, there's 15-year-old girl supposedly killed a few people in the school and harmed others, and here's now I have to go back to the story. So it says here that Rad Fem Hitler has deactivated after being named in Wisconsin school shooters manifesto. The shooter said Rad Fem Hitler is fucking vindicated now. The shooter also disparaged moids and foids. I guess it's like maleoids, men, and femoids, foids. I think that's what it means. I'm not 100% sure. The leak reportedly comes from the shooter's Discord. So that's her, the suspect, and I guess radical feminist Hitler. It was some, I don't know, online personality. So women, this is, I guess, her manifesto, the shooters. Women are the only hope for this wretched world, but even women have been brainwashed by moids for too long. They've internalized the patriarchy and turn on each other, always begging for male approval and validation. It's disgusting. I realize the truth. Men are irredeemable. Typo. Radfem Hitler is fucking vindicated now. They can't be reformed or redeemed. They're fucking scourge upon the earth. The only solution is to total exterminate them and every void who worships these fucking parasites. Every single male must be wiped out, from babies to the elderly. Only then can women be free to create a new world. I'll be a pioneer. I'll be the first to take the first step. I don't care if they're fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, teachers, police, and especially inwards or politicians. I've been craving to kill them all. This is my mission. Only when their parasitic sludge has been expunged from this earth is when when then the world will be clean and women can start over. It's the only way. In approximately 2 minutes is should be ice. Is she should be there. I should be there. It's strange, but it feels good. So yeah, I'm just asking, like, what if they do kill all men? How will women start over? They need men for the perpetuation of the species and stuff. But if it's just some radicalized, or I don't know, brainwashed. I don't like to use the word radicalized in this sense. But yeah, if she was brainwashed by whatever crazy feminist ideology, you can't expect too much logic from her. And this is supposedly the radical feminist Hitler. So BMI 35, Fingolian means Finnish. I'm Finnish, so yeah. Sugar baby. What does that mean? Is it like, she has a sugar daddy? Is that what it means? Lip-charted and proud, felony record, insider trading, ex-Mormon, divorced, age 45. Well, if this is her picture when she's 45, she looks quite young for her age, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird stuff going on. So yeah, hey, double hurts. What did I miss? Not much. I'm still in the first story, the school shooting in where is it? Wisconsin. Uh, yeah, this crazy feminist girl who supposedly killed a couple of people and injured others. But so yeah, but my take on this, like, I can't even pretend to be like. Of course, it's very sad and unfortunate for the families of the victims and stuff when this stuff happens, but it's so commonplace for the past couple of decades or something, especially in the United States, but it happens elsewhere as well. At least even in Finland, at least there was some school stabbing some time ago, maybe some shooting. Anyways, though, so I guess it's like, if people want this to stop, then they should sort of look into the reasons why does this happen, because of course there's going to be media, left-wing media heads, and politicians and stuff saying like, oh, you have to take away the guns and gun control. But it's like, it's not the guns. Like, sure, if there were no guns there would be no shootings, but of course, can you take away the guns? And it doesn't happen everywhere that has guns, so clearly there are other reasons. And of course, there's some cases that there might be, maybe the FBI knew the shooter in advance. I don't know if that's the case here, but like, there are suggestions that the authorities might sometimes, promote these incidents for whatever political reasons. But then again, I do think that some cases, possibly, at least so far, what I've seen, this might be that, this girl was mentally unhinged, and that's like, it's not like a productive argument to say like, ha, she was crazy and now she's dead. Like, it's like, okay, well, why was this young person so unhappy? Because I remember when I was a teenager, I didn't go school shooting or anything, but I sort of could relate to the pain that you don't see much good in the world, and just taking a few people out before you go, I can see the appeal in it. Like, so maybe just should people should look more deeply about the root causes of these problems. Like, why are people this unhappy? And of course, uh, it's a very complicated issue. But let's just summarize. In a nutshell, it's that as a Western society, we don't have really any values anymore. It's just about whatever political thing there is, the virtue signal or consumerism or stuff like that. So of course, it's you can't blame people for feeling insane because of stuff like this. So yeah, she was a victim of society and she took it out on society. That's how it seems to me. Let's go to the next story. Even though not that many stories this week. So USA UFOs in New Jersey. Have to say New Jersey, not Jersey, because that's an island in UK, right? So, anyways, and they are like I don't know so much about this story. I just found it annoying. Like people were sort of referring to it on Twitter for the past few days, but nobody really gave a good summary what it's about. But they are UFOs supposedly because just means unidentified flying object, and those they were. So yeah, drones, planes, or UFOs. Americans buzz over mysterious New Jersey sightings. So there were some weird lights in the sky, and people were um, speculating whether they're drones or something weirder. And even supposedly the government didn't know what it was and stuff, but I think they know whether it's their some sort of technology or not, or the military or whatever, or something else. I couldn't say. Maybe it's Chinese spy balloons again, or who knows what. And so yeah, I don't even want to speculate on it. It's just except that yeah, I do think the government has a better idea of what it is than they're telling. And there's just speculation from e-celebrities on Twitter and stuff. Strange radiation spikes have been noticed in the U.S. over the last 10 hours, specifically in New Jersey. This coincides with the large drone seen in the US. It's like they're scanning for something very odd. So there's like radiation in the area where the UFOs were spotted, but may not have any connection to it. Like maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't really know, but I guess worth mentioning. And here's Jim, Mr. Metokur, I mean Moshi Moshi Moon, saying, I keep seeing murmuring that the drones are US assets hunting for a loose nuke. If that's true, then the target and date would be obvious. Inauguration day in DC. Well, it sounds like a plot for, 24 season, and wasn't that a plot for, was it the first or the second season of 24, with Kiefer Sutherland, the TV show? And then there's, of course, Q-tards, as it were, QAnon, as it's colloquially known, saying, look to the sky. And I don't know. Just, yeah, I don't know what it's about. Like, of course, yeah, it's interesting to pay attention, but before I have any, more concrete ideas, I'm sort of too old to be chasing after UFOs and stuff, even, online, because there are many fascinating mysteries in Earth's history and present and future too. But like, unless you can actually prove something, that's just like okay, yeah, it could be this. Maybe it's time traveling ancestors from the future coming to save us from ourselves, or it could be thousand different science fiction scenarios. But how would you know which one is the accurate one? But I'm just gonna say that if in the future we're gonna get more UFO stuff, and the media and the politicians will start talking about aliens or something like that. It's probably gonna be bullshit. The Project Blue Beam fake alien invasion conspiracy theory has been on the internet since ages, and well, I still find that more credible than actually aliens coming down to whether they're gonna be nice aliens who are our friends or evil aliens who are gonna attack. I'd rather believe in governments or whatever other agencies faking alien invasions than actual aliens coming. That's just my 2 cents on it. Let's go to the next story. So Israel embassy leaves Ireland because yeah, Ireland doesn't like Israel anymore, which is so very unfortunate. Um, so Israel will close its embassy in Ireland due to quote extreme anti-Israel policies of the Irish government unquote. Israeli FM says it's finance minister. Of course, it's gonna be finance minister. I don't know what is a like fuckmaster. Anyways, and well, this is not Ireland, but there's like these bills in Australia. Some Jewish woman, looking at the fingers, claim that there's these notes with the swastika and text "fuck Jews" written on them. It's like, oh, how horrible, and that she supposedly just got them from the ATM at the same time after she got some money, but there's a note, the community note saying it's not possible to receive a banknote with graffiti on it directly from an ATM in Australia. The Reserve Bank of Australia ensures quality control of banknotes. So this seems to suggest it's a fake hate crime, and it's not the first time a Jewish person would have been, painting swastikas on the wall of a synagogue or something. Like, wouldn't be the first time something like this happens. So and then there's this is not related to Ireland but to Israel, like the very classic media manipulation. Good invasion versus bad invasion. Israeli troops move swiftly into Syrian territory and Russia invades Ukraine on multiple fronts in brutal act of war. Yeah, so this is like textbook, like almost literally textbook example of media manipulation, because um, when I was in university and had to read some, or I think it was like an entrance exam to some university stuff, like it was on discourse analysis and how the media can show um, their favoritism in any kind of conflict for one side to the other, and this is a very good example of that. Of course, like it seems to be two different outlets, Washington Post and PBS. It would be even more effective if they were both from the same source, but I guess we can't have it all. And then there's this. It's just random person on Twitter commenting. There has never been an independent Ireland. Ireland was created by the British, supported by Catholic terrorism, and maintained by American dollars. Ireland is not a real country. It's like as long as they don't support your genocidal actions, this is how these people seem to react to Ireland. Like, of course, it's just one person on Twitter. You cannot equate it with a whole group of people, of course, but still, regardless of the whatever the average Jewish person might think, the political entity of Israel is an enemy of humankind, in my opinion, and that's why Israel delenda est. Israel must be destroyed. in the vein of Cato the Elder, who said, "Carthago delenda est," Carthage must be destroyed. I will probably advocate this every week from now on until it actually happens, because it is the source of many political problems in our current world, unfortunately. The state of Israel, and some tangentially related issues and factions, certainly. But Israel is, that's the at the crux of the problem, in my opinion. But anyways, let's go to the next story. So Trudeau might resign as the Prime Minister of Canada. Canada. Of course, it's might resign. So yeah, developing multiple reports that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is considering resigning, and he may address Parliament this afternoon. I don't know. If you're lucky, he has actually resigned already. But then again, this might just it's a rumor. So for all I know, he might still be the leader of Canada 20 years later, when I don't know, the half of the population will be Chinese and the other half Indian, but he's still the leader or something. Yeah. And there's a video. If you want to know why Justin Trudeau is on the verge of resigning as Canada's Prime Minister, this woman says it all in just 22 seconds. I haven't actually watched the clip entirely.
Globalism. Okay. You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada. What do we do with traitors in Canada, Mr. Trudeau? We used to hang them for treason. And you're doing that very same thing to us now.
Okay, I don't disagree with this woman, what she's saying. But I don't know if this would actually cause him to resign, because, well, we've seen this so many times in various Western countries in the past few years, that the corrupt politician or whatever, they resign, but then another politician who might even be worse than them takes over. So even if he resigns, we might get somebody who is who has maybe different aesthetics, but at core they will do the similar kind of policies. But still, if he does resign, it is interesting that it's just bit before Trump gets into office, and also shortly after Trump getting reelected, the French government collapsed, as did the German government, and so things. I wonder if they're related. If they are, then it's good news, because I'm a bit apprehensive how much draining swamp will Trump actually do or not. But hey, maybe he will. Maybe he will do some of it. Hopefully, he will do some of it. And at least, if these people are scared of Trump, that's a good sign, in my opinion. So, but then there's stuff like this. So Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook is bribing Trump. Hey, Pitical, welcome. I'm doing news from the past week. So let's go to the story. So yeah, Mark Zuckerberg has just donated 1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Supporters are saying we are back, while critics claim it's over. So yeah, I don't know, sure, maybe he just, what are these images? That's AI art that I use to accentuate my stories, because I can explain, this is Star Trek, and because some people have like said that Mark Zuckerberg looks like Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. So the guy in the red shirt looks a bit like an android and stuff, and the other guy actually looks like Trump, which is I'm glad I managed to create it with AI. But anyway, so yeah, like if Zuckerberg just gives Trump some money, then it's and no strings attached, then it's fine, right? But is are there never strings attached to stuff like that? And I don't know, like, why are you even allowed to give money to his inaugural fund? Like, and why does he need an inaugural fund? I don't really understand how it works. Like, maybe there is a good reason for why this happens, but I don't really get it. um, yeah, so well, I guess we'll see in a couple of months what when Trump gets into office, how it's gonna affect the United States and the rest of the world. Let's move on. So yeah, Japan might. Well, not really. It's a sort of false headline, but Japan might announce a 4-day work week. So Japan announces 4-day work week so people can make love over the long weekends and boost birth rate. However, apparently it's an incorrect headline, but I just want to talk about it because it's an interesting issue. The headline is completely incorrect. The new system was proposed strictly for social workers in Tokyo, not throughout Japan, and the goal is to help with the work-life balance of young mothers so they don't have to quit working. But then it's not completely incorrect. It's partially incorrect. If it's at least they are suggesting this policy for some workers in Japan, only 4-day work week, because I support the idea for not just Japan but any country basically. I think it's like some at least some sources, I think some disputers say that medieval Europeans worked much less than people do nowadays, like fewer hours than we do. Like, of course, there some obvious differences, like if you're a farmer during the harvest season and all that, you're gonna have to be working really hard, and then I guess during the winter you can't really do anything with your fields and stuff. And of course, back then they didn't have washing machines and stuff like that, so their basic chores would take were much longer, or like heating the oven and stuff. Probably cooking took much longer. They couldn't buy their salads and stuff ready made, and of course stuff like that would take more of their time. But still, even if and I asked ChatGPT, and according to that ChatGPT, it was roughly around 40 hours per week, which is, I guess, I assume it's roughly the same as people nowadays. But then it's like, if it's the same now as it was then, why don't we have, because we have all this automation and stuff like that, why don't we have things better than the peasants, the oppressed masses in the Middle Ages? Because I don't think working 5 days a week is ultimately it only benefits, like the bigger corporations, in my opinion. Not so, like, of course, like if you work 4 days a week and get one day of salary less, then it's not good. But that's why I think that salary then should then be boosted up to make it more feasible. But of course, since the financial interest don't want this to happen, it's probably not gonna happen anytime soon. But this is a leftist policy more, but that's a leftist policy I basically agree with. let's go on to the next story. So Luigi did not have insurance. Is of course Luigi the shooter from the United Healthcare. Luigi Mangione wasn't even insured by United Healthcare. So the alleged shooter of the was Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, and apparently it's yeah he wasn't a client of the insurer. So it's like it goes to, I should think it should raise the question: was he really the killer? Like, what's his motivation then? Like, of course, it's possible that his mom or his dog trainer or whoever was a client of United Healthcare, and the person got screwed over, and then he wanted revenge. That's possible, certainly. But this article is sort of interesting the way it's assuming that he must be the killer, since okay, the man charged with killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was not a client of the medical insurer and may have targeted it because of its size and influence, a senior police official said Thursday. Okay, so it's the police official that said it. So NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney told NBC New York in an interview Thursday that investigators have uncovered evidence that Luigi Mangione had prior knowledge. United Healthcare was holding its annual investor conference in New York City. Mangione also mentioned the company in a note found in his possession when he was detained by police in Pennsylvania. Wait, he has a note mentioning the company. That's I don't know, but that's not really evidence of anything. But we have no indication that he was ever a client of United Healthcare. But he does make mention that it is the fifth largest corporation in America, which would make it the largest healthcare organization in America. So that's possibly why he targeted the company," said Kenny. It sounds like stretching to me. Like, he is innocent until proven guilty. That's how it's supposed to work. And I don't like the way the media is making him out to be uh, the the culprit, because like I'd really like them to go through all the evidence saying that he actually did it, like the evidence that because if they show like take the Kyle Rittenhouse case few years ago, and I did myself I could review the relevant video clips online and came to the conclusion before the trial took place that he was innocent of any murder or anything like that, or manslaughter, and as the courts rightfully judge him to be innocent. But so far in this case I haven't seen that much evidence of much anything, just few camera, like surveillance camera shots of guy with a hoodie and stuff. But let's move on to the next story, because yeah, that's just, I don't know, I think it's a bit questionable. But anyways, let's move on to more entertainment news. So this is Drama Queen Drama. It's a manga about that the localization or the translation. I really hate the term localization. Like, even before like the last few years when it has gotten a really bad name. But I remember hearing about it like a couple of decades ago and stuff. And I hated the term already back then. I was so ahead of my time. Anyways, Drama Queen Chapter 1 has had its translation adjusted after release, leading to fan concerns of censorship and contentious manga. Details below, so it's here, the Niche Gamer article. Brandon Little, nice name, sort of funny. So Drama Queen has begun contentious manga in the past few weeks, and the increasing spectacle of the series means that fans noticed when a line was altered in Chapter 1. The series follows two Japanese young adults who are fed up with the status quo, which celebrates a race of alien saviors, quote unquote, who allegedly saved the planet from a meteor. The aliens have been forcefully integrated into society and apparently receive special privileges as a protected class in society. Fans and critics alike have been quick to infer that the series could be a metaphor for immigration issues facing many developed nations. Yeah, it seems like an interesting manga. Unfortunately, if it's like, just the first issue has been released, I don't want to start reading it yet. I want to, wait until much more is out. But anyways, one line in particular has the heroine on the series of Nomamoto vents of the heroine of the series. Nomamoto vents her frustration at the aliens after being accidentally shoved on the sidewalk. She goes on to complain about other things that irritate her, such as women who refer to their boyfriends as their partner. So this is the original, I guess, like the proper translation. Just like I hate women who call their boyfriend's partner. I hate them. Freaking aliens, they never apologize. I hope they all die. And this is the censored version. Just like I hate women who use pet names for their boyfriends. I hate them. So yeah, because personally, I've come across this as well a few times. It's not just women who, but like I had some coworkers talk about their girlfriend as partner, and at first I was like, "Is it? Does it mean he's gay? He has a boyfriend, and he's, doesn't want to say it out loud?" But no, I guess it's some gender neutral crap, and that was, already like 5 years ago or something. So, when the chapter first released, critics claimed that the line was potentially referring to LGBT plus couples who may use a gender neutral term for the insignificant others. Yeah, sure. Let it be insignificant others. Yes. So, this is the word aibo. I think that's the reading of the kanji. Yeah, so yeah, it is a gender neutral partner term, but it's not only gay people who use it, but it does sound gay to me. So whatever. But the point is that it's censorship, clear and simple, and it should not happen. Censorship is bad. Okay, it offends me. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the next story. So now I've lumped in a few gaming related stories here under this, so you can have a sneak peek of some of the topics I'll be discussing in this AI image. So first is Nintendo's legal battle with pirate streamer gets off to a bad start. TLDR. Streamer played multiple pirated games online before release. Nintendo is seeking damages which could total millions. Nintendo lawyers have attempted to serve him papers. He has avoided being formally served multiple times now. He has bragged online about evading action so far. Now Nintendo wants to serve via his family members. Nintendo has a ton of evidence. The court needs to decide how to proceed. So this is like, I have zero sympathy for Nintendo. So yeah, streamer has played multiple pirated games online before the release. I don't think that should be that's up on Nintendo. Like, it's their problem that they leaked it out. Like, piracy is not stealing, so nobody really should care outside of Nintendo that somebody copied their software before it was released. Nintendo is seeing damages which could total millions. That sounds like absolute bullshit. How is Nintendo losing money? Like, especially if the games are good and people watch his streams, because this is the first time I've heard about this story. I haven't watched his streams. I don't know what games he streamed. But anyway, so how could it be totaling millions? And if the games are good and people watch the streams, then it should possibly bring Nintendo money because it's free advertising. But fucking Nintendo is too stupid to see it. So Nintendo lawyers have attempted to serve him papers. Yeah, sure. Yes, that's probably what they will do. He has avoided being formally served multiple times. That sounds based. He has bragged online about evading action so far. Yes, that's based. And now Nintendo wants to serve via his family members. Like, if he's an adult, I don't think they should be bothering his family members. Especially, like, I can understand if the police are after him, if he has committed a crime, then yeah, it makes sense that the police interview his family members. But Nintendo should have no right to go harass his family. Nintendo has a ton of video and blah blah. Yeah. So this is, it's just like, yeah, okay. I think eventually they will catch the guy and he will have to pay and maybe go to prison or who knows what, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But I want to talk a bit about piracy. Like, I don't do much piracy nowadays. I used to do more when I was younger and stuff, but still, I wrote some notes. I wanna look at them. So yeah, let's go back to uh, like 3 decades almost. Because back in the 90s, when I was a teenager, I started liking Star Trek. And unfortunately, in Finland, they on TV they showed only like 4 seasons of Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Space Nine, and there's 7 seasons altogether, and only 2 seasons of Star Trek Voyager. Even though there's also 7 seasons of that, and then they did show some stuff, some Star Trek: The Next Generation, but that was like really early in the 90s before I was into Star Trek, so I didn't watch them. And then later on, it's like, oh, I want to watch this Star Trek, so the only way for me to watch them was to buy VHS videotapes. And one tape would have like 2 or 3 episodes, and you couldn't just go everywhere. Like, you sort of had to hunt for them in video stores and stuff if they happen to have episodes you don't have. And of course, they weren't that cheap. For a teenager couldn't just buy all of the tapes that he saw. Like, maybe I could afford one a month or something. But then jump like 10 years into the future, and then when the internet was getting started, and me being a Star Trek fan back in the day and stuff, I couldn't, and also into technology and stuff like that, I couldn't predict how convenient the internet would become. Because then, let's say around 2005 or something, that's when I discovered, like, hey, you can just download any Star Trek episodes from the internet for free onto your computer and watch them. And that was the first time I actually managed to finish both Deep Space Nine and Voyager, so all the episodes, because I couldn't do it beforehand. And that was like, whoa, it makes it easy like that. And of course, a bit after that, there started to be DVD box sets of these seasons, that at least they were more affordable and easier to get. But still, I think it's especially in the spirit of Star Trek that you could just basically copy the episodes freely. So so it's, I would say it's hypocritical if somebody complains about um, pirating Star Trek episodes. But anyway, so that's one um, thing, very personal experience about piracy. And the other thing, around that time, around 20 years ago or so, when Pirate Bay started to be a thing, and like many European countries had their own pirate party, some even got seats in parliaments and stuff. So that was like the golden age of piracy. And I was like, ooh, it's like world is changing for the better, and we are getting more options with piracy, because the way I saw it, like, of course, if an artist or creates a product, whether it's a game or a movie, a book, whatever, like, sure, they should be compensated in some way. But then again, like, I think it's sort of silly, because now that thanks to computers and internet, you can take any file and you can just copy it an infinite number of times without, basically no cost at all. Like, I think it's sort of backwards to limit the copying aspect of it simply due to financial reasons. Like, certainly, the artists should be compensated, but that's when we should, as a society, um, look for new ways of handling it. I don't have the answer, and I'm not saying it's your basic socialism or anything like that. I don't know what the answer would be, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's good that you can copy, like, just imagine if we could copy food in the same way that we can copy computer files. That would be even better. But, like, of course there would be financial interests that wanted to prevent it if it was possible, and the food was actually as good as the original in this hypothetical scenario. But yeah, but I don't have a functioning model how to make it work. But I just I don't like the idea of legal or financial factors limiting our ability to share information, because that's simply all that it is. It's information, like, whether it's a game or a movie or whatever. But yeah, that's it about piracy. Let's go to the next story. So Humble Bundles. So Humble Bundle, the website where you can buy video games and stuff. They gave a few days ago gave the new Indiana Jones game Steam keys for free, and unfortunately I didn't get one. I was too late. But then apparently they revoked all those keys. So, and even if it was in your Steam library, and I guess this is supposed to be a surprise, but it's not, because I remember I was revoked some key years ago. I was given a key to some game. I don't even remember the name because I never played it. Like, but it was like the early access or beta version of some game, and but I think it was only for the beta version, and once it came out of beta, then the key was revoked. But anyway, so yeah, I knew that it could happen. But I'm just wondering, what was Humble Bundle like? Did they accidentally give those keys for free? It sounds likely, since the game was, is brand new anyways. I know it didn't sell well, but just an, I don't know, interesting story. Not that controversial, in my opinion. Let's move to the next one. Then Sony officially confirms buyout Kadokawa plans. So I guess Sony is buying Kadokawa, which is, well, I know they're from more like they're a manga publisher, but I guess they publish some games too, like, Dark Souls. I think Bandai Namco is under Kadokawa nowadays, and if Sony is gonna own it, that's probably bad news bears, because Sony likes to infect wokeness. Agent Doubleheart says some years back, Kindle deleted books people had bought. One of them was 1984, ironically. Yeah, I sort of remember I heard something about that. But yeah, also there was something about, like, also PlayStation. Maybe it was like, PlayStation store. They also had some movies, and then the license ran out, and then they sort of tried to delete the movies from people's accounts. But I'm not sure if they were. There was some controversy, so maybe the people complained and they were compensated or something. I don't remember what exactly happened, but yeah, that sort of stuff happens. So I guess you should, remember that, yeah, if it's not on your computer, if it's has to be online only, you don't really own it. And hey, for some things it might be okay that you don't own it, but other things you definitely do want to own it. And of course, it would be bullshit. Like, let's say my Dark Souls or something. If someday, okay, let's say that Sony buys Kadokawa, which owns Dark Souls, and since I'm shitting on Sony online, Sony decides like, woo, we're not gonna let him play our games, and then they somehow manage to delete all Dark Souls games from my Steam account. Like that would be, just hilarious because of how dystopian it is. but maybe someday something like that will happen. Like maybe not to me, but to somebody else, or maybe it has happened already. But it's yeah. This is the last story. I just have a couple of articles. So there was the video game award stuff that nobody really cares about. But the game was Neil Druckmann, who is of course famous for Last of Us. Says the intergalactic heretic prophet is about what happens when you put your faith in different institutions. Well, okay, this phrase did catch my attention, but of course then you have to just look at the main character, and all interest flies out of the window. And here the main voice actress to the game says about transgenderism: you can't just accept it, you must embrace it. So are they gonna start a jihad for transgenderism, that you have to you know worship, you will be beheaded if you don't accept transgenderism as your lord and savior? Or what is actually their goal here? And just have a look at the game, because there are some aspects that actually sound interesting to me. Of course it's gonna be horrible. um, so anyways, well, here it says, so it's set thousands of years in the future. It follows the bounty hunter Jordan Amon, blah, 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 who is stranded on a remote planet searching for a crime syndicate. So it's an action adventure game set thousands of years in the future, an alternate universe where advanced space travel existed. By 1986, the bounty hunter becomes stranded on a remote planet, Semperia, while searching for the five Aces criminal syndicate. For 600 years, Semperia has been cut off from the outside contact, and no one has been able to leave it. In seeking to escape, Jordan fights hostile blade-wielding robots. I think this sounds actually very interesting, except for the blade wielding robot sounds boring. But anyway, otherwise the scenario sounds interesting. But of course, it's going to be full of woke garbage and stuff. And Neil Druckmann. Never been a fan. I've never played any Last of Us um, because it was, at least for a long time, even the first Last of Us that is supposedly good was PlayStation only. I think maybe it was released on PC recently, but don't care that much. But I just remember, like, when I first became aware of it, before Last of Us 2 was a thing that was, of course, a disaster on many different levels. But a coworker of mine told me about how great Last of Us is. So yeah, but to me, it just sounded like the kind of game that it's is for people who have emotions. Like, this is a game about emotions. Like, a friend says I have to play Last of Us 1. Yeah, there are people who are like, they're somehow touched by the game, and it might be decent. I'm not gonna deny it, but personally, it's like some of these games that they feel like it's a game made for, it's too much emphasis on emotions and stuff like that, and it's like, I don't know. It's not for me. Like, maybe if you get into it, it might be decent. But there's like so many games out there, and time is limited, so you really have to pick your battles, as it were. But anyway, so I guess I should make some, grandiose statement about this game, this intergalactic. That of course, this game is gonna be garbage. Maybe, or maybe it's mediocre garbage. Maybe it's other garbage. I don't know. But it's like some people have been saying that game development takes a long time. Even though, like even I think Hollywood is sort of moving away from wokeness. The games industry might be slower to do so because development of games takes much longer. So maybe they started making a game 2 or 3 years ago, but it's gonna come out in 1 or 2 more years. So, and they cannot really change too much about it to make it less woke and stuff. But that was the last story of the week. I guess have to summarize something. I am not that much to say. Well, I hope Trudeau resigns. I hope Trump doesn't just uh, do what Mark Zuckerberg tells him. We will vote with our dollars and other currencies. Yeah, that's certainly one course of action, and it has helped to a certain degree. But unfortunately, there are some people who don't really care. They just want some sort of, vapid entertainment, some distraction, and they don't care about quality or if developers actually despise them or not. But it is. I think the amount of disgruntled gamers is growing, which is good. And yes, Israel delenda est. Israel has to be destroyed. That should be remembered always. And let's see if there's gonna be more UFOs and what kind of narrative will the governments or the media weave around them, and let's see if the school shooting, if there's anything new to it, like some new revelations or anything. I'm not expecting it to be, some Sandy Hook level of questionable stuff. At least so far, it doesn't seem like that, but we'll see. But I don't have anything else to say. I'm at Adventure Argonaut. I thank you for watching and all that. Tomorrow I'll get back to Dark Souls 3. Bye bye.